like wandering around apocalyptic wastelands, gathering weapons, and fighting enemies? Well, you'll love FaryCry New Dawn. That's the game we're going to talk about today. Good morning, YouTubula. My name is NoNoNoah, and welcome to this lovely video called Game Grind, the only show on the internet that does the grinding for you, except literally any other show that reviews video games. Just bear with me here. Today we're going to talk about the sequel, yes, the sequel to Far Cry 5, FaryCry New Dawn. Obviously, you guys know by now there is enough spoilers in my videos. I really don't want to keep doing spoiler warnings, but just know I plan on going fully in depth on this game. So if you intend to play it and don't want any story spoilers whatsoever, I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to bail on this video. Starting now. Enjoy this picture of a cat. Alright, now it's your fault. And also, I want to let you guys know, I am not God, I am just a mere mortal, my word is not law. I have my opinion, you guys have your opinions, but you guys came to my video to hear my opinion, so I'm not going to hold anything back. So with that, let's get into the lovely sequel, FaryCry New Dawn. New Dawn begins where Far Cry 5 left off, with a goddamn nuke dropping on the world. Or at least Hope County. I'm assuming the world though, because here comes Mr. Russian Company, a community of guys making the world a better place. Contacted by Carmina Rye, daughter to Nick Rye from the previous game, they set off to Hope County in order to deal with a group known as the Highwaymen, in a fucking train, bellowing smoke! Train gets ambushed. Yeah, saw that one coming. Everyone but Rush and yourself are killed. Carmina saves you while Rush gets kidnapped, and we get introduced to Mickey and Lou, the problem solvers, and the leader of the Highwaymen. Well, at least this Highwayman. Apparently the Highwaymen are all over the country, but this Highwayman. Anyway, flash forward, we save Rush, and help Prosperity, a town of survivors threatened by the Highwaymen. Prosperity gets attacked, however, and Rush quickly drives us to get the help of New Eden, a group of followers dedicated to the old ways of Joseph Seed, one of the antagonists from the old game. The antagonist of Far Cry 5, who predicted the end times and basically set up New Dawn as a concept to begin with. Regardless of this fact, we approach New Eden, gain their trust, and quickly learn that Joseph Seed has exiled himself. His son, Ethan, instead, leads the people, and after a few quests you are tasked with going to fetch Joseph from exile, or proof of his death. Once we find Joseph, he gives us superpowers. Well, he makes us eat an apple that gives us powers. I don't fucking know why they chose to add this in, but regardless, it's there. After this, Joseph comes back to lead his people, upsetting Ethan and pushing him to resent his father. With our newfound powers, we grow Prosperity, do some fetch quests, deal with Highwaymen, do some more fetch quests, recruit followers, all to get attacked by the Highwaymen once more, which comes in the form of kidnapping members of the community, along with Rush. Now, shock shock, Rush gets his head blown off. We hold a funeral for him, and then it's off to punish Mickey and Lou once and for all. We go into deep cover in an attempt to assassinate the high leaders of the Highwaymen, and upon visiting their casual get-together, Ethan arrives and tells them of the superpower apples. Mickey and Lou leave with Ethan promptly to go get some yummy apples while you slaughter everyone else in the room. As we hightail it back to New Eden, we find the place on fire with Mickey and Lou destroying everything to find these apples. Joseph and Ethan gone, the residents had to defend themselves, and did so poorly. A massively upsetting boss battle later, and we find Joseph being held at gunpoint by Ethan to give him an apple. Ethan eats it, turns into a monster because his heart wasn't pure or some shit. We kill him, and then Joseph gets upset and asks for us to kill him as well. Which I did because fuck that guy, and the story closes, looking over Rush's grave with Carmina, hopeful for the future. Now this plotline is pretty simplistic, but it's not off, and it's a little off the wall, but not in a way that's memorable in any fashion. Joseph still being alive, I called it. Ethan being a power-hungry douchebag, called it. Ultimately, a lot of the things in the series are pretty cliche, but that's what to expect out of a Far Cry game. They don't really focus in on their stories so much. They build amazing worlds and great gameplay, but even the gameplay and the world in this one is pretty forgettable. Let's just start with the open world. Not only 1/4 of the goddamn Far Cry 5 map, but also feels a bit empty as well. We have hidden chests and bunkers to explore scattered around the map, camps to raid and take control of, and of course story quests, but ultimately the map of New Dawn is just a lot of nothing. There's always hunting and fishing to fill those areas, but these types of encounters don't happen often at all. At least not like Far Cry 5, where they'd be running the wildlife on roads almost every damn trip. Even the companions, one of the staples of Far Cry 5, are a bit dull. Carmina, a simple gun to your side. Nana, a sharpshooting old woman. Okay, cool, I'll give you that. An old woman who shoots. Crow's eyes, but has eagle vision. I get the stereotype, that's funny. Priestman from Far Cry 5, but old now. Rocket Guy boy, but old. A boar named Horatio, cheeseburger was cooler in my opinion. Judge, a silent companion who won't use cars. And a heavy machine gunner, and the only one I used, Timber the dog, because he is adorable, marks enemies for you, gets you ammo, and rides in a sidecar like a goddamn dream dog. Combat is pretty standard other than this old level system that was implemented into the game. I'm sure only to waste my time. Now yes, you level up and gain skills that increase your damage and give you different abilities, and yes, you gain superpowers like Rage Mode and Super Mega Ultimate Jump Leap thing, but none of this matters nearly as much as the level of your gun. Now this is all fine in the game, and honestly it's quite organic. Each gun has a separate tier. There are 4 tiers in the game: gray, blue, purple, and orange. Each one packing more firepower than the last, and the way that you get parts to create these guns depends on what you were doing, like exploring, camp destruction, looting enemies, just playing the game. It felt really organic, and the more you played, the more powerful guns you felt, and it never felt forced like you had to level up, or you had to have this gun, or you had to have that gun. It all felt really organic until I fought Mickey and Lou, the second to final bosses in this game. Now, I initially went to go save New Eden from the duo with purple tier weapons, and a headshot with these guns for the two was only 73 damage. A pitiful number in terms of the game. Now, their weapons took down a fucking fourth of my health no matter where they hit me, all while fighting both sisters with waves of dogs and highwaymen. Fuck, even bombs don't do anything to these unstoppable forces of nature. Clearly their estrogen is far more potent than anything I've ever known! There is even a mode called Expedition Mode where you get to fly over to different areas of the country and fuck up highwaymen for harder to get loot items, which was also cool, but I never really played those missions because they were just, it was really linear and it just didn't really add to the gameplay very much outside of getting a specific material that you need to make a gun. But Mickey and Lou, man! So after seven more hours of grinding materials and earning skills to unlock the orange tier of weapons, I went back into New Eden and absolutely shredded their health with a heavy machine gun. Fuck the OP leveling in this game. It was unbeatable with final tier weapons. Even after this, orange weapons on the Ethan monster boss did damn near nothing and quickly turned into a shoot-run type bullshit you see out of every other AAA boss fight. Go to a corner of the room, shoot him as many times as you can before he does some rage shit and runs at you. Run to another corner of the room, shoot, shoot, shoot. It was just wash, rinse, repeat over and over and over and over again. Do you think I'm having fun in this situation? Look, watch this. Watch this shit. Does it look like I'm having fun? What quantifies this boss fight as fun? I'm running from one point to another, shooting him in the process, running to another point, doing the same, reloading, running to another point. There's no fun, there's no originality. He's not even that scary. He's just this big shadow demon that... Why? Now, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed the game a lot up until the final boss fights. I loved the bringing up of old characters. I loved the beautiful landscape that was just rocketed with a nuke after 20 years, and how some of what appeared to be bliss flowers all over the place that had just taken over the environment. It was really cool, and that's not even to mention some of the ways some of the animals mutated, with bears having bark skin and buffaloes having some weird moss-like texture. It was all really cool, but the ending bosses are just devastating to my opinion on this game. The game itself just seems so damn quickly thrown together. I mean, it used a fourth of the map that was in Far Cry. They just updated it with new textures and new overgrowth and stuff. So already it kind of seemed like a cash grab, and the game was $40 when it came out, and I actually got it for $20 on sale. So it just really did seem like a cash grab, and whenever it did come out, the reviews weren't as great as they could have been, and I think it's mostly because of how they brought forth a game outside of Far Cry 5's ending. Ultimately, I don't think that I can recommend this game to you guys unless you guys are die-hard Far Cry fans. But on the other hand, I can't fully bash it either because it has a lot of good things going for it, and there's a lot of good elements in it, like the crafting. It's just, there's spaces where I just don't like it personally, and that doesn't mean anything towards it or anything at all like that, but it just does not seem like it's put enough together in my viewpoint and from where I stand to make it a game that I can recommend to you guys. Like I said, this game is just forgettable. Nothing in it particularly spoke to me. It's got a couple of neat cliches and a couple of neat aspects to it, but this game was birthed out of Far Cry 5's ending. An ending that a lot of people hated, like very much hated, because in Far Cry 5 there is no instance or no talk of a nuke of any kind throughout the entire game, and then suddenly a nuke hits at the very ending and you're stuck with Joseph Seed. That is the hateful ending that you're stuck with, and this game was birthed out of it. So already going into it, I didn't have a very good viewpoint on it. But I do hope that the next Far Cry game that they come out with is amazing and groundbreaking like the 5th one, because up until the ending of the 5th one, I really did enjoy my time playing it. Ultimately, this game is just a pile of ooze on the floor. Interesting at first when you poke it, but now it's just soaking a stain into the carpet, and it's quite annoying. Thanks everybody so much for watching this Game Grind episode. Please be sure to visit my Patreon page to help me out. Any money you guys put towards the Patreon page will keep me fed and keep good productions like this coming out. When we reach a certain goal, I actually plan on doing 3 exclusive videos on that Patreon page for everyone who's subscribed to it. So please make sure you go and check that out. The more money I get, the faster it'll be for me to get videos like these out, because I will be able to take off work and school and stuff because I'll have money backing me and I won't feel bad about it. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all you no-bros in the next episode of Game Grind. Don't forget the Cutscene Cinema episodes too, guys. Those drop today as well, so make sure you look at those.